Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for Monday the 11th of January, going through until Sunday the 17th of January 2021. Thank you for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm going to give you a rundown of what the planets are doing this week, and there's some genuinely interesting stuff happening this week. It's not going to be the easiest 7 days that you've ever had. There's a lot of emotional stuff going on. There's lots of stuff with the public, your own life, how you see yourself, and that's all kind of pooled together into this big cauldron of energy. So you'll have a lot to work with this week. I'm going to go through each day and give you an idea of what's happening. My horoscopes are based on UK time, so just take the time difference into account. And the horoscopes are for all signs of the zodiac. So I just look at what all the planets are doing up in the sky and how that's going to influence all of us down here, regardless of whether you're an Aries or a Sagittarius. So on Monday, the 11th of January, we've got the moon going into Capricorn. The moon is how you feel, and Capricorn is a very practical earth sign. So you're really focused on what you can get done. The Capricorn moon then forms a positive trine with Mars, the planet of drive, in Taurus, a very masculine, earthy, practical sign as well. And it conjuncts Venus, the planet of love and beauty, in Capricorn. So love for work, love for things that you can actually change in real time. It squares Chiron in Aries, the wounded healer, urging you to heal yourself and your life. And it trines Uranus in Taurus, the miraculous and unexpected, again, in a practical way. So we've got lots of Earth here. We've got even more happening. We've also got Mercury in Aquarius. So the communication planet is very concerned with these lofty ideals and notions. It conjuncts the lucky planet Jupiter, also in Aquarius. So those ideas can really lead to something and can lead to major growth. And it sextiles Chiron in Aries. So how can you heal your life through ideas? Jupiter in Aquarius also sextiles Chiron in Aries. So those two have a specific relationship. It's not just Mercury and Jupiter and Chiron. Jupiter and Chiron, those two themselves form a connection. And again, it's through what you can think about and how you can use that to teach other people and how you can be of service to humanity that's going to create healing in your life. So on Monday, you're really working very hard to get yourself into a better position in your life, whatever that may mean to you, a more secure job, a relationship, a nice house, whatever it may be. But there may also be lots of competition and individuals who clash. Because you're focused on getting ahead in your own life, you're not particularly interested in other people's plans and desires. You're looking out for number one. At the same time, there's also a focus on the wrongdoings of other people. So especially people in power, world leaders. Interestingly, the focus on yourself pays off because you can really make your dreams a reality, whereas the focus on other people is going to create more friction and more clashes and more differences of opinion, and they don't really get you very far. So focus on your hopes and dreams, no matter how elusive those may seem, because you really have the wherewithal to get things done on Monday. But pointing your finger and saying, why are you doing this? That's not going to serve you very much. So try and be disciplined about what you're looking at, because it's really a powerful day where you can compete, even if competition is something that you abhor and that you don't like to do, because you're focused on your unique gifts and what you're doing, and you feel like you don't have to compete with anybody. There may be a little bit of elbowing going on Monday the 11th. On Tuesday, the 12th of January, we've got the communication planet still in Aquarius, Mercury, and it squares Uranus in Taurus. So again, the building blocks of what is going on for you at the moment is very much about what's going on up here. Venus in Capricorn, still very down to earth. I want to work, I want to toil in the fields. That squares Chiron in Aries. So how can you be practical to heal your life and to make things better for you? So it's not just from this place of, I want to be number one, I want to be the best. It kind of comes from a place of discomfort that says, hey, if I heal my life and my circumstances, then I'll be okay. And then I can be happy. And that is going to put you at odds with other people, especially if they're coming from a place of fear and saying, I need to get this job, otherwise I'm just going to go under. If you're competing with people operating from that kind of level, it really heightens the stakes. The Capricorn moon also conjuncts the Sun and Pluto in Capricorn, so Earth, Earth, Earth. And that really gives you the ability to change your circumstances significantly and to make life-changing alterations as a result of what you're thinking about and your innate sense of power by relying on you. Not other people, but what you can do, what you feel to be right. The Capricorn Moon also sextiles Neptune in Pisces, so your imagination is fired. You can look at what you would like to do, so it's not difficult for you to visualize and for you to kind of get an idea of where you want to be. But on Tuesday, with all the Aquarius energy, there may be some more upheaval in the public sphere. So what's loved by many and what is willed by the self, those two things are in direct conflict. So you may also feel rather vocal about the things that you don't like. Again, the big changes that you can make are directly linked to your own life and what you have control over. And it's also linked to your own experience, so take that seriously and rely on your own judgment. Change the things that you want to change in your life rather than focusing on other people and what they're doing poorly or what could be more effective. You really have a lot of control here over yourself and what you think is right and good and what you want to work towards. On Wednesday the 13th, we've got the new moon in Capricorn at 5 a.m. and that's based on UK time. If you're on the East Coast of the States, then it's on the dot at midnight, which I like because it's very much about the new day, and it really fits with the Capricorn energy because it's about order and structure and being effective and working very hard. So the moon moves into Aquarius later on in the day, and it brings up more of that energy that Mercury is already brought in. The Aquarius moon conjunct Saturn in Aquarius and Jupiter in Aquarius, the two outer planets that meet once every 20 years. It's called the Great Conjunction. And with those two in Aquarius, there are going to be changes to the way we operate socially. I mean, we've seen a lot of that, but we're not done. So there are more upheavals, there's more change. And Aquarius is often associated with the activist, someone who says, do you know what, someone has to stand up for what is right. And obviously that is important, and there's a time and place for that. If you feel you're in a position of power where you can really affect change and where you can kind of expose other people's wrongdoings in a constructive way to affect real change in the world, then obviously go for that. But if you have no power and control and it's you and, like, I don't know, 5 guys, for instance, sitting at the pub and saying, ain't it all awful, aren't these political leaders stupid, we know so much better, we could all do it much more effectively, then that's a waste of time because it's not going to affect change. It's just 5 guys talking at the pub. And you're much better off then focusing on your actual life and how you can make real changes there. The Aquarius moon, there's a lot going on, especially at the beginning of the week here, these first 3 days. So the Aquarius moon then squares Mars in Taurus. So this ideological frame of mind that everything can be fair and perfect and right is at odds with Mars in Taurus, which is saying, hey, mind your own beeswax and focus on your life. And it also squares Uranus in Taurus. And that's really explosive because whatever you do focus on, change is guaranteed. Whether it's your own life or you affect the lives of lots and lots of other people, change is going to happen. Mars in Taurus also squares Saturn in Aquarius. So, 2 angry men. Well, no. Mars in Taurus isn't an angry man. Mars in Taurus is focused on what can I take charge of? My money, my body, my nutrition, my diet, my everything. And he's not particularly angry, but he's controlling. And Saturn in Aquarius is like, these are the rules, and let's implement those rules regardless of who doesn't like it or who gets offended. These are the rules. So it's 2 very strong men as such, very confident, very focused on, I am the authority figure, not you. So we've got a lot of that going on this week with, I mean, you can't have, you know, what's the saying? You can't have too many cooks in the kitchen, otherwise they're going to ruin the food. If everyone's an expert and if everyone gets their way all the time, there's no compromise. There's just arguing and chaos. Venus is in Capricorn, trines Uranus in Taurus. So again, doing what you love and what you really can do something with can create miraculous and surprising effects in your life and can really benefit you. So on Wednesday, there's a real discrepancy between reality and the ideal, utopia as you see it in your mind's eye. It may become really, really clear to you that the life you'd imagined for yourself isn't the life you're actually living now. And you have the opportunity on Wednesday to come to terms with that and to resolve some of the pain that causes you. Because we all have hopes and dreams. If those are never realized or other people take them and do them for us, then that can often be very difficult to accept. So those of you who already are in alignment with yourself and your lives, your hopes and dreams have come true. You're doing exactly what you want to be doing. You feel like you're in exactly the right place at the right time. You're going to be able to take charge of what's going on for you in your work, in your personal life, in your finances, in your education, and anything that you decide to focus on, really. And also, importantly, what you're passionate about, what you really feel is important, and this is something that you want to expand because it makes life worth living. It's a real passion of yours. And I was looking at this earlier, and the word passion is so strong here, and it's such a marker on your journey this week that I looked it up. And passion comes from the Latin word, this is education. It comes from the Latin word passio. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but that actually means to suffer or to endure, which I found really interesting, because a passion, something that you absolutely love and adore, when it goes belly up, it can really cause you much more suffering than if you never cared at all. And these days, when we say, oh, I'm so passionate about you, I just want to be with you all the time, we don't mean that I'm going to endure you and the things that you're saying, or I'm going to suffer through your company and presence. We don't mean that. We mean something that really lights us up. So use that as a marker. If you do feel passionate, if you do feel motivated, and even if there is a sense of uncertainty that if this goes wrong, I'm going to be really disappointed, that's something that you can really do something with this week. So there's the convergence really of the two aspects of that word passion on Wednesday. Because things that have been difficult, you may find that you're suddenly really excited and renewed in those areas. And things that you have been passionate about have become really painful and difficult. And again, you can do something about that. So you have lots of control on Wednesday the 13th. Thursday the 14th, let's see, less aspects between the planets. Okay, so I mean, I've been telling you about the squares and the conjunctions and the trines, and all of the planets for the first 3 days of the week are really, really busy, and they form lots of relationships with all the other planets. So there's going to be a lot happening until Wednesday the 13th, and it's a great time to brainstorm and to look at the things that I've been talking about. But things quieten down a little bit from Thursday onwards. So the big thing is that Uranus, the outer planet, goes direct. Now, when it comes to astrology, most astrologers, myself included, we look at retrogrades, and a retrograde is when a planet appears to be going backwards, and when it goes direct, it moves forwards again. It appears to be moving forwards again. And we look at the personal planets, so Mercury, Venus, Mars, because they really affect you specifically. The outer planets often stay in retrograde for 6 months, so we can't really. And often the retrogrades, when something appears to be going backwards, the focus is on the self and things happening within you, and when the planets go direct, it again happens in the outer world, in your experience. So I look at when a planet like Uranus goes direct, because the miraculous and the unexpected has really stemmed from within for a while now. If you've had the idea, if you've wanted to do something with it, you can create it. But now there are real opportunities in the real world that you can respond to. So it's a difference between generating content and responding to existing content that's already out there. You have more opportunities from Thursday the 14th for unexpected, miraculous, wonderful things to happen. The moon is in Aquarius, and it conjuncts Mercury in Aquarius. So you feel very, I was going to say righteous, but you're not feeling you're not being sanctimonious or on your high horse. You just see the ideal version of yourself, and you're really clinging on to that. and you feel that it can be something that can be translated into your life. So this focus of what am I and what do I want to be is really strong this week. And if you're someone where the two are miles and miles apart, it's really going to show you a lot about that state of being and the friction that causes in your life. If the two are completely together, you will still see and be able to acknowledge how far you've come and what you've done for yourself. On Thursday, the Sun is in Capricorn and it conjuncts Pluto in Capricorn. So that Venus in Capricorn energy, which is all about I love to get down and roll up my sleeves and actually do something about what I'm thinking and feeling, rather than just sitting back and saying, oh, woe is me, isn't life awful? You actually have the presence of mind to say, I can do something about this. I'm not powerless, I'm powerful. So on Thursday, you're going to feel more at peace, and you will have changed your vibration from the day before when the new moon in Capricorn happened. Oh, and I didn't mention, I'm going to do a separate video on the new moon in Capricorn. I always do videos on the new moons and the full moons because they are such big, significant events. I'll go into more detail there. But the new moon is about planting seeds of intention and saying, okay, what's coming up and what am I going to do? And on Thursday, you will have really had that experience the day before, and you'll start to think of, I have changed now. I feel like something in me has shifted. That realization and that spectrum of who I want to be and who I am, I've really understood and gained something from that. So things do feel different internally, and those realizations are going to enable you to take different actions than you have before, and to break patterns and to break patterns of behavior, especially ones that haven't served you in the past. So it's a good day to look at new ideals that you want to manifest in your life. The atmosphere is very, very adaptable. So what you put out there is going to take on a life of its own. And it's a fabulous time to reinvent yourself as a result. On Friday, the 15th of January, the moon moves into Pisces. So the moon in Pisces is very much focused on the spiritual and on the self and what you feel. The moon then also sextiles Mars in Taurus, and you'll want to get this sense of control when it comes to your feelings. Now, feeling your feelings isn't something that most people enjoy, especially the negative ones. And Mars in Taurus forming a sextile with the Pisces moon gives you a false sense of power, where it's like I can adapt and control my feelings all the time. I mean, it sounds very familiar to me because I'm in recovery, and the whole thing about drinking and taking drugs is I want to change how I feel. I want to feel better. I want to take control of who I am and what I'm thinking and what I am, and through some sort of chemical solution, I want to take charge of what I'm feeling, and I want to make the good stuff bigger, and I want to minimize the bad stuff. And unfortunately, that doesn't work, because all the substances you take, the chemical solution to the problem, it comes with its own strings attached, and it creates new problems. So with this Pisces energy here, really, really strong, and that control element of Taurus, you'll want to escape and withdraw, and you'll feel entitled to do that. Because Wednesday and Thursdays are really major shifts in who you are and what you feel and how you see your life. So on Friday, it's going to be like, do you know what, enough, I need a break, I need to chill. The realities of the week may have been illuminating, but that kind of illumination is also often very, very draining. So don't check out with drugs and alcohol. You can't manage your feelings. You've got to experience them and feel them. It'll undo the good work of the past few days if you do kind of shut off through some sort of chemical solution. Because when you change the way you see yourself in the world and where you are in it, that point of view and the change and the new reality, it takes some getting used to, and initially it feels a little bit uncomfortable. So if you face that discomfort and you go through it, that's called growth, and that's when you can do something about it, and that's when you can move forward. If you have all these insights on Wednesday and Thursday, and on Friday it's like, enough, let's have a drink and just kind of go to bed for a day, then you're really not taking that opportunity because you're not willing to go into the discomfort, and it's through that discomfort that you're going to grow on Friday, and that'll inspire you. It's like the discomfort is the fuel for you to do things which are going to genuinely change your life. With is Neptune around? Yeah. Neptune is in Pisces, yeah. So with the Neptune Pisces energy, you have the continued ability to manifest your hopes and dreams into reality very quickly. Uranus is direct to look at opportunities for work or for change or for, in any area of your life, relationships, friendships, your physical appearance, anything like that. And if you decide that you're passionate about changing those things, and there is an element of suffering involved in that. Like for instance, I would want to go to the gym to work on my arms, which I feel are too skinny. And if I loved my arms and if I wasn't uncomfortable about them, then I wouldn't be motivated to go work out at the gym. Not that I do go to the gym, because they're closed at the moment, that's my excuse. But do you see what I mean? It's not like I'm passionate about building my arms up. No, I just don't like the way they look. That's why I'm going to do something about it. So you can take that kind of dissatisfaction and transform it into a passion, something that you grow into, that becomes a joy and a passion. On Saturday, the 16th of January, the Pisces Moon now sextiles 3 planets. It forms a sextile, which is a harmonious relationship with Mars, your ambition and drive, Uranus, the unexpected, and Venus in Capricorn, the planet of love, saying, let's get practical. It's like that, Let's Get Physical, that Olivia Newton-John song. Yeah, let's get physical. Venus and Capricorn, love it. Okay, so on Saturday, this is really a life-changing, profound day. And this is what I meant when I was like, this week is really, really interesting, because you can change your whole dynamic on Saturday the 16th. It's really spectacular as far as I can see. Your expectations for yourself on Saturday are going to be immensely high. So questions like, why am I not more? Why am I not more beautiful or more successful or likable? And why am I not feeling any better? Why am I still in pain? Those kind of questions will really be at the forefront of your mind. And I'm laughing because there isn't much good that comes from those questions other than to torture yourself, because it's really the epitome of not accepting of where you are in your life and what is. And that causes friction, again, like earlier in the week, between where you could be and where you see yourself idealized and where you actually are. And when you say, I should be further along than I am, I shouldn't be feeling like this, shouldn't, ought. Those are really expectations you place on yourself that aren't going to make you happier and more successful and more beautiful and likable. They're going to make you unhappier because you feel like you're powerless and you can't do anything to change them. So that pressure, that kind of duality creates, it builds and builds and builds on Saturday. And what can happen is that you get to a point, like there's a Eckhart Tolle, you know, the spiritual teacher. I read some of his books, and in one of the books he mentioned that he was in Richmond Park in London. Don't quote me on the park, but I know it was in London. And he was like super depressed for a year or 2 or 3, and he sat on this bench and he just got so depressed that at some point it's almost like he went down so far that he went through the depression and came out the other side and had this moment of enlightenment. And that's what I mean here, because the pressure between your real self and your idealized self, they're different, and the pressure builds so much that the way you see your life and your mind can crack open like an egg, and that you start to realize you're meant to start living now with what you've got, and that there is no magical moment in the future where everything falls into place and where you suddenly have everything that you want, and that with those things in place you can finally start your life. That moment never happens. If you think, okay, I need to grow up, leave the family home and work as an investment banker and move to New York, and then I can do everything that I ever wanted. You're creating this distant kind of idealized notion of who you could be, and it's going to make your present life miserable, especially if you're not preparing for that future. So if you're studying art instead of investment banking. On Saturday, you're going to understand that you're meant to start with what you've got right now. That there isn't this point ahead that says, okay, things are in place, I can really start living and I can start to be happy. I mean, I'm not saying that surprising, wonderful things don't happen in life. Of course, you can meet someone fabulous and they can add to your life and have an opportunity that you never saw coming, and that can add to your life. But that's different. That's just going through your life and being satisfied to an extent and going about your business and doing what you can, and then these other things are added. This is like if there's this partitioning of yourself, as in the real me that I don't accept and the future me that I want to get to, you're creating an energy that disempowers you, and that puts loads of pressure on you. It ruins the present moment because you're living in the future. And also, I do genuinely believe in the law of attraction, and when you're holding that kind of divisive view of yourself within, you're putting everything into this context of everything has to be acquired. And I don't know about you, but getting and grabbing and acquiring isn't something that works very well on planet Earth. I mean, some people can do it, but business leaders, who build this business and then get whatever they want. But when you read their biographies, it's usually not about, like Jeff Bezos, for instance. I wanted to start Amazon because I wanted to be the richest man in the world. There are usually other reasons, and they stem from the self that is not partitioned into two, and that's unified, and that says, I have the means to start this website and to build a business. So what I'm saying is, if you split yourself into two, the good future version and the bad present version, you're doing yourself a huge disservice, because it disempowers you, and it means you acquire negative situations which actually keep you from actually ever getting to that future that you've painted for yourself. So it's really about accepting who you are right now and saying, what can I work with what I've got? So Saturday is really the ultimate reality check, and that can be disappointing and challenging and hard to tolerate. I mean, that's why a lot of people do check out and say, I'll never achieve those things that I need to be okay. Like, I need to achieve all of these things to feel okay with myself, and then I can live. And you're not just starting at 0, you're starting at -5 if you do that, because you're putting impossible pressure on yourself. And the reality is, you are okay right now. You may not be thrilled with everything that's going on in your life, but you've got enough food to eat, you've got a bed to sleep in, and at some point you've got to say, what is okay? Oh, I mentioned Latin earlier, now I'm mentioning Nietzsche. Not that I'm pretentious or anything, but I think it's relevant. Nietzsche said that we have art in order that we shall not die of the truth, which I find really interesting, because it's almost like creating beauty and expressing all of these magical, wonderful things as a way of distracting yourself from the things you're dissatisfied with. On Saturday, the reality is that all of the truth of your life is really laid bare to you, and you're going to have to look at it. You don't have to look at it. You can distract yourself and do other things. But if you do choose to look at the truth of your life, you're really able to let your limiting beliefs die, and to say, do you know what, this rosy future that I feel I need to survive, I don't, because I'm surviving right now. That's a reality check. So letting limiting beliefs die also means that a part of yourself feels like it's going to die, because you've held on to these beliefs for a long time. So that can be a challenge. My affirmation with that kind of energy is, I'm willing to let go of old beliefs that cause me to suffer in the present moment. I'm willing. I'm open to it. I'm going to do my best with it. I'm not going to get it perfect, but I'm going to do my best with it. And for me, it's the willingness that's really key to making changes. Sunday, the 17th of January, we've got the Pisces Moon conjuncting Neptune in Pisces. So your emotional world gets even bigger. It sextiles Pluto in Capricorn, so there's a real good use for that. You can actually apply your emotional insights to the real world and adapt it. The Sun's in Capricorn, and that also sextiles the Pisces Moon. The Sun in Capricorn really makes you very assertive and very clear on what you can and can't do. So the black and white nature of Capricorn actually helps you to decipher between these rosy, unrealistic and hurtful notions you've got about yourself and who you want to be. By the way, just a side note, it is January, okay? It's like there's so much fog outside, freezing fog. It's like minus here, like below zero, and you can't see anything. There's a lockdown, so no one's on the street, but the one thing we can count on is the ice cream van. Every Sunday. I don't know who eats this ice cream, but someone must. Anyway, Jupiter is in Aquarius, and it squares Uranus and Taurus. So the idealism of earlier in the week comes back, and it can really make effective change. So again, if you're a powerful world leader and you can make decisions that will affect other people around you, think about what you're going to do Monday morning, because on Sunday you'll get great insights. If you're not, and you're a regular person, then look at what you can change in your life in a practical way, and in a way that isn't hurtful to you, because it's actually attainable or achievable. You don't have to acquire it, right? You let it arise from within. Later on in the day, the moon moves into Aries, and that really shifts things for the next week, because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's like, let's go, let's do this. No more contemplating and tearing myself in half. Let's just get on with it. So on Sunday, the dark night of the soul that you've had here on Saturday, it really offers you some gems that you can use practically. If you've always wanted to write a book, or you want to start living your life purpose, or you want to take a risk in a relationship, you're inspired to take the first step today, because it's either going to work or not. And I'm done dilly-dallying. I want this. I have control of the situation. I can adapt it. And I'm going to be honest and authentic about it. And the chips are going to fall where they will. If it doesn't work, then at least I tried. So you're very kind of down to earth and blunt, and you see things very clearly on Sunday. The focus also, though, shifts a little bit to other people with the Aquarius Jupiter energy. So again, watch out for pointing out other people's flaws rather than looking at your own, like there was the potential to do on Monday, Tuesday, because that's just a distraction, another distraction that's going to keep you stuck. Unless you're a powerful world leader who can actually take them to The Hague, you know, to the court. Or to actually do, the main thing here is, and the question is, can I do something with this? Are my efforts actually going to pay off, or am I just wasting my time? And don't do things, obviously, that waste your time. And don't feel obligated to achieve the impossible. Focus on what you can do here and now that's going to get you moving again. And that'll put you on a good track starting Monday the 18th, because with the moon in Aries, you'll have this laser beam focus on, okay, this is who I am. I accept it. This is what I've got. This is what I can do about it. It's an amazing week. Time to grow up for a lot of us, or to accept the way things are and to heal from that acceptance. Even though it may seem a little bit naff. Like, oh, great. I have to accept that I'm not, you know. Yeah. So that's what I get for you this week. I'm going to make a separate video on the new moon in Capricorn, so check that out if you're interested. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscot.com. On the front page, click on book your readings to book your reading, to order your reading with me. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and share the video online. Also, if you want to see the horoscope for 2021 for your sun sign, or for your rising sign, or for your moon sign, I've done the horoscopes for 2021 for Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, etc. So if you want to have a look at that, check those videos out. Have an amazing week, and I'll speak to you next week. All the best.